Good morning, and good morning, Adrian. Okay, we're going to crack on with the rest of the wooden dummy form. The dummy section that we're doing now, it starts off with this weird little movement that goes from side to side. And then you do this little Paak Sau, and then you go into Kwan Sau. And once again, it really is very heavily Chi Sau based. That is really what most of the training in Wing Chun will be around. This idea that you get in contact with people, get in the clinch. And as I said, it's not to do with grabbing the clothing, because sometimes we just have bare arms, and particularly where in Wing Chun in Hong Kong, generally 90% of the time got bare arms. So from this movement here, once again, before we did this section, we're opening up, we're going to ball the dummy in, hit across, and then move. But it's not a flip of the arms. It never really will be. It will be you move your body weight, and your rear guard hand will also consequently change. Because if he's punching forward, and it doesn't matter how I open the move from here, this movement here, this movement here, and this move here, doesn't always have to be with the same arm. So if somebody punches forward, you might have a movement like this, and you'll recognize this from Cham Kiu. And if you're studying in Wing Chun, then you'll be learning Cham Kiu and the wooden dummy at the same time. So as he's punching forward, maybe you're lucky enough, and I'm going to use that word carefully, just literally you're lucky enough to do the Paak Sau. Now watch how I use the Paak Sau. If you're looking at your form and you're looking at how large that movement looks, and everybody says, oh, it's a restricted movement, it only goes to the outside of your shoulders. But when he punches forward, I make it even smaller than that. So if I straighten up, he's actually really not moved very much at all. Because as I turn, can you see it comes in line with my shoulder? So I'll face camera. This is in my center line, and I'm keeping it in my center line. But as I turn, it now, I'm not moving it at all, ends up in line with my shoulder. So as people punch forward, what we generally do is make ourselves very, very slim as an object so you're not easily caught. So as he punches forward, if you're panicking, one of the things you're not doing is reaching for the movement. And that is primarily what the skill is. It's this idea of maintaining discipline. And in Wing Chun, we call it a point to stop. So you've got these points where every movement stops and it can't go any further. And it's very often caused by muscle positioning or shoulder positioning, so that your joint can't extend too far, so you don't create reopenings when you're under pressure. So as he punches forward, I might move this movement here, and then as he punches forward, I use this movement to drag it back. So what you're seeing on the wooden dummy is a movement that goes in and goes across on the arms. And don't forget, we have got another camera up here, and it goes back like so. So as he's punching forward, I might go in and just control him. So you punch again, 1 and 2. And then the idea is that this elbow's not in. And that means it creates space so you can get back to your opponent. But there will be lots of times when you're sparring with somebody who's got their arms forward, or another Wing Chun student who likes to place that longer Maat Sau positioning. So as he faces forward with that Maat Sau, you're saying, well, how do I get in? You don't want to do this, okay? This movement here is going to set up across. It's literally, no, don't do that. Just bang, just seriously, it'll be the quickest way to get to me. One wallop, it will just come straight across that movement. So that would be a stupid opening, can you see? But this wouldn't be. So the idea that you sort of look and you go in on your opponent, you're going to monitor that rear guard hand. So here you've got this movement that's gone this way and gone this way like so. So as he punches forward, you're doing this. And as you're hitting it, it's not directly across. It's very slightly back. And so when you feel this movement, if I pushed out, he can resist that movement here. But as he tries to resist that pressure, so you imagine I'm trying to get in on my opponent. I want to get in. I want to fight on my opponent here. If he's pushing in, but can you see this? It isn't much. If I'm just gradually rotating that, like you would in Cham Kiu here, if I'm slightly rotating that here, bringing that back, then it doesn't matter if he's pushing in. He's being drawn. And you're not falling deliberately, no. You fall into the movement. And you might have seen just now that you might go like this, you'll be setting these movements up. So there's loads of ways you'll do this. And you might have accidentally, like I did then, do an inside gate park, which you really definitely want to make yourself skinny on. Throw the second shot. You really want to make sure you're safe against that second shot. And Wing Chun has another movement to counter those dangerous situations, which is the Maat Sau. So if you punch forward again, if I'd gone inside somehow, we'll cover up this way because that covers even that. So you punch forward, cover the round. You see it covers these ideas, and this is where you catch the elbows and you control people. And it's always where you place your rear guard hand that is most important. So as he punches forward here, you've got so many movements. Now we're in a clinch, and now you use these little movements. He punches forward to go like that, feed it from here. So I've gone like that, go onto the arm. So it's pretty quick normally, and then that gives you the space. Crush. Here, look, because of these elbow shapes, very difficult for somebody to crush you. You don't want to use movements like this on the inside. It will have to collapse. It will just 100% collapse. So on this movement here, this movement goes this way. So this one's this way and this one's this way. It's not this way. Okay, it's not the movement Fut Sau from Cham Kiu. So as he's punching forward, I've also got a movement going this way. And as a general, when you're doing this movement, you're going to beauty back. So as he punches forward, you're going to go one, one. You're just literally going to attack that line. So as he punches forward, you go one, and you attack that line. And the reason you use the buell rather than the punch, is as he punches, your elbow's low. But when you go this way, your elbow rotates, and that covers the space and the line so much better. So if you've got a slightly looser punch here from coming back at you, you have a chance to cover that shape. If you're punching this way, you potentially are going to, no, you keep your elbow out, it's fine. You're going to potentially lose that, and the best you're going to get away with is an exchange and find out who's got the hardest head. So this movement from here to here flips from side to side. 1, 2, 3, across, and then you see this little Kwan Sau movement here. So you go 1, 2, 3, and then this little Kwan Sau. And as you can see, it's always about body movement. It's how you're moving your body. And it's nice to think that if somebody punches forward, you can go like this and you can hit people. But they're the poses. They're not the real moves. They're definitely not the real moves. So as you're in this position here, and we'll just get a slight angle, you might be in the clinch and you just take this movement like so. So you're going to rely on your high levels of sticking and tying people up. So from this position here, if I was double inside gate and there's pressure on me, I can safely use this to strike or to hit into my opponent. So you can see that on any change, if he changes, okay, well, you have to do it away from camera. Okay, so ready, I'm here like this. If I'm in this position, if he changes this hand here, I can guide this hand here. So if I'm on the outside, I can guide it. If I'm on double inside gate, there would be pressure on me because there was no pressure on me. Let's be honest, don't put the pressure on me. So just stick lightly. I'm going to be attacking him, putting my thumbs in his eyes and stuff. But if I'm here and I'm frightening him, I'm threatening him from the inside, trying to drive my way through, he's got to try to he's got to try to suppress that movement. And I've got to be aware that at any time, I don't want to be like this, don't want my elbows, I don't want to fight with my elbows in, he'll just chop me in the throat. Okay? I'll be in serious trouble. So from here, I want to fight him with my elbows slightly out so that I've got this safety so he can't chop me. So now he's sticking with me. Can you see? Now it sets him up beautifully for the little Kwan Sau. So when you go from here, sorry, thank you, Adrian, my fault. Ready? When I go from here, 1, 2, 3, then you'll see this little movement here, this little Kwan Sau. So it's a strange movement in the form, but actually in reality it's a movement you use quite a bit. So then you come over into the Kwan Sau. Well, hang on a minute. What are you doing going from here to here? It's not a fight sequence. So once again, we've got another option, which is we're in general Chi Sau. Or general, you can call it a clinch. I don't really care. I mean, I call it Chi Sau because we're Wing Chun students. But my opponent takes his hand from the inside to the outside gate, and then I turn him across with the Kwan Sau. And then from that position, I can flip and I can use the Popeye Jung. So you can see very comfortably that now from Kwan Sau, I can get this Popeye Jung. And then from that position, when I'm doing this here, I can take these kinds of movements where I start to sweep and take control of the legs and arms. So essentially what you're trying to do is anytime someone changes on the gate, you're going to strike. If when they change their tight, they stop that, then the Kwan Sau is the natural leader for that movement. it will be daft, you turn around, go, to do a Kwan Sau just because somebody changes. Because a change represents this. And if you'd been going to do a Kwan Sau, go, here the other way, that's big, go here, then can you see it's not going to be a good idea. So I'll show you again, make it clearer. So we'll go this angle here. As he changes this arm around from this position here, I'm going into the Kwan Sau. And oh, lovely, what a beautiful movement. It's so clever, too clever. Because in reality, when he comes around, I want to hit him. That's the first thing I want. I'm just going to keep this away so you can see. I want to strike him. But as he comes around, who's to say that he's worried about my arm? And that means that obviously it gives me the opportunity to hit. So as he comes around here, if I'd gone into Kwan Sau automatically, you feel that. Now if you change, but just hit around the head instead, go. So change. Oh, it's not so pretty anymore. It doesn't work at all. So as he goes around, I go to change, and the Kwan Sau stops working. It's just not practical. So you do the Kwan Sau because the person who's changing puts pressure on your arm. So you're here like this. He changes. You don't just go straight into movement generally. So I'm a massive advocate that you should strike. You should strike. You should strike every single time. So whenever anything changes, strike forward. So in this position, as my partner changes, I try to hit. But he's not dumb. He's doing Wing Chun as well. He's training. So when he changes, he says, I want to change, but I'm going to potentially get hit. So he will start to change and keep his elbow in. And what you've got to be careful is you don't get in patterns of behavior that are not thought about, that are not aware, that you're not conscious of. So from this position here, as he goes to change from this, I strike forward. He realizes this, and he obviously naturally wants to suppress this movement with a foot. That's my bong. And then that's my bong. Well, the other hand hasn't done anything yet. So normally when he changes, this hand will change. Yeah, for no reason sometimes as well. People just train, if you change, I'll change as well. Well, why did you change? What was the necessity? Can you see? So the reality is we want to learn how to stick as beginners, but that's not how it's always going to be. So from this position, as he changes from that position, I would have been trying to go forward. This hand's already in contact. But now, if I don't control this one, this will crush me. Can you see? So this time will get compromised. So what I do is, as you change it, I push it, I open him up. This is what causes him the trouble. So when you see the Kwan Sau, make sure that you, and I'm going to do it on the opposite side, make sure you don't move away and do the movement, okay? Make sure you move them, move their mass. Ready? So in this position here, we'll go at a slight angle so you can all see as well. From this position here, when he changes here, don't avoid the person. Don't think that Wing Chun is so soft that you avoid everything. You don't. So as he comes in, you redirect force. And redirecting force doesn't take the same energy and the same power as to meet something head on. So as he changes and you go around, you redirect it. This allows this kind of movement. But what will happen, is that when you get to here, your partner can force back. As he forces back, you can guide this, and you've got that second Popai Jung. Because what happens here, and it looks slightly different to a wooden dummy, from this position you Paak Sau, come in, straighten up Popai Jung, then you do a Bong Chor Sau, Popai Jung. And what that one is trying to show you is that when you do the Popai Jung here, you're coming down on their arm. And you have to, because probably the most basic Wing Chun movement that beginners know is Lap Sau, just the Lap Sau. So when I'm in this position here, if you imagine, we'll go for how as it looks on the wooden dummy, it's not likely to be applied this way. You've got a movement like this, and then you take this movement and you go forward. And it definitely doesn't do this. It doesn't go one. It's not a smooth movement like that. Because your partner will go, what are you doing? And do that. So I'll show you. We're doing it in this, look, please, just accept this. This is not how you're going to use it. I'll show you how to use it later. Well, I already did, but we're going to repeat that. I'm in this position here. As I want to do the Popai Jung, I can't, if there was pressure, just go into him like so. because already you can feel he just wants to do a larp, and he's got one simple movement completely destroying something like a power jump, complete waste of time. So what I have to do is break that shape. Larp, yeah, he can't do it now. He cannot larp now. So the key you'll see on the dummy, okay, is you break the dummy. You break down on the arm. You push down, then you go forward. That will ensure that you've got the pressure. If he fights back on that pressure, then you can change the direction and come another way. Now that's artistically beautiful. Unrealistic, you might just BLG. So you might be in a position here, he fights back on the movement, and you let the rear hand fly through towards his eyes. So from this position here, come in, get rid of that arm. Make sure that this movement doesn't have enough angle to get you. So what you're trying to do is break his ability to do Fut Sau. Because when I'm here and I push forward, he still can't grab me. But if he's training well in his Cham Kiu, he'll go one. He'll bring and flip that elbow in by doing this movement. That then will allow him the grip. So here...